Africa is rapidly becoming a central stage for global power dynamics. The continent's vast natural resources, youthful population and strategic location have attracted significant attention from major players like the United States, China and Russia. These nations recognize Africa's growing geopolitical importance and are actively vying for influence across the continent. This competition is shaping Africa's economic development, political landscape and security environment. As these global powers engage with Africa, it is crucial to understand their strategies, investments, and the potential implications for the continent's future. The African continent possesses immense reserves of oil, natural gas, minerals, and arable land, making it a highly attractive destination for foreign investment. Furthermore, Africa's young and rapidly growing population represents a massive potential market for goods and services. This demographic dividend holds significant economic promise for those who can tap into it. As a result, the United States, China and Russia are actively seeking to establish strong partnerships with African nations to secure access to these valuable resources and markets. The competition for influence in Africa goes beyond economic interests. The continent's strategic importance in global trade routes and security concerns also plays a significant role. With its long coastline and proximity to key shipping lanes, Africa is crucial for maintaining global trade flows and ensuring maritime security. Moreover, the presence of extremist groups and transnational criminal organizations in parts of Africa has raised concerns about regional instability and the potential spillover of violence beyond its borders. This has prompted global powers to engage in security cooperation initiatives with African nations to counter these threats and protect their interests. However, this geopolitical game in Africa is not a zero-sum game. African nations themselves are active players in shaping their own destiny. They are leveraging the competition between global powers to secure the best possible deals and partnerships for their development. By diversifying their alliances and carefully navigating the complex web of international relations, African countries can harness the opportunities presented by this geopolitical competition to advance their own national interests. The United States has long been a significant player in Africa with a history of engagement spanning decades. However, in recent years, the US has faced growing competition from China and, to a lesser extent, Russia. To counter this trend and reassert its influence on the continent, the Trump administration launched the Prosper Africa initiative in 2018. This initiative aims to boost trade and investment between the US and Africa, promoting economic growth and development on both sides. Prosper Africa focuses on utilizing the strengths of the US private sector to unlock the potential of African economies. The initiative aims to create a more level playing field for US businesses by addressing trade barriers, promoting investment opportunities, and supporting the development of a more conducive business environment in Africa. Through Prosper Africa, the US government provides technical assistance, loan guarantees, and other forms of support to American companies seeking to do business in Africa. One of the key aspects of Prosper Africa is its focus on building partnerships with African governments, businesses, and civil society organizations. The initiative recognizes that sustainable development requires collaboration and local ownership. As such, Prosper Africa emphasizes working with African partners to identify and address the specific needs and priorities of each country. This collaborative approach aims to ensure that US engagement in Africa is aligned with the development goals of African nations themselves. Beyond Prosper Africa, the United States is also engaged in various other initiatives in Africa, including security cooperation, health assistance, and democracy promotion programs. The US military provides training and support to African security forces to counter terrorism, piracy, and other security threats. The US Agency for International Development, or USAID, implements programs in areas such as health, education, and agriculture, contributing to human development and poverty reduction. Moreover, the US government supports democracy and governance initiatives in Africa, promoting good governance, transparency, and human rights. China's engagement with Africa has grown exponentially in recent decades, transforming the continent's economic landscape and raising concerns in some quarters about Beijing's growing influence. China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, launched in 2013, has become a cornerstone of its Africa strategy, aiming to connect Asia, Europe and Africa through a vast network of infrastructure projects including roads, railways, ports and energy pipelines. The BRI has been particularly appealing to many African countries facing significant infrastructure gaps. Chinese investment and construction expertise have helped build roads, railways and ports, improving connectivity and facilitating trade within Africa and with the rest of the world. This infrastructure development has the potential to unlock significant economic potential and stimulate growth in Africa. However, the BRI has also faced criticism for potentially burdening African countries with unsustainable debt levels and for lacking transparency in its procurement and implementation processes. China's engagement in Africa extends beyond infrastructure development. Chinese companies are heavily involved in various sectors, including mining, manufacturing, telecommunications and agriculture. China has become a major trading partner for African countries, importing raw materials and exporting manufactured goods. This economic relationship has brought both benefits and challenges for Africa. While Chinese investment and trade have contributed to economic growth and job creation, concerns remain about the sustainability of this model and its impact on local industries. Furthermore, China's growing presence in Africa has also raised geopolitical concerns, particularly among Western countries. Some view China's engagement as a challenge to the existing global order and fear that Beijing is using its economic clout to gain political leverage and advance its strategic interests in the region. The United States, in particular, has become increasingly wary of China's growing influence in Africa and has sought to counter it through initiatives like Prosper Africa. However, it is important to note that African nations themselves are not passive actors in this geopolitical game and are pursuing their own interests by engaging with both China and the West.